We've taken narcissism to a whole new level. Self Radio. Get selfish. Get real. Get you. Self Radio. It's the bombastic. It's Self Radio. The selfie of radio.
I'm so awesome.
Music customized for your unique level of pretension. Self Radio. You always make it about you.
You deserve the best.
From despotic dance music to presumptuous pop to the smug sounds of indie tracks. Your music is all right here. Your music. Self Radio. Your music is better than everyone else. Using your music. Because you're better than everyone else.
You deserve the best.
It's music we know you're going to like because you own it. Well, you stole it. Self Radio. Why experience new things when you can make it all about yourself?
I'm better than you.
Self Radio. Imagine a warm musical cocoon you can crawl into and ignore everyone else.
I'm better than you.
Self Radio.
Self Radio
Is number one. Because you're number one.
You deserve the best.
And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Think everything revolves around you?
I love myself.
It does. Self Radio takes you to a new place. Your inflated ego and ideas of good music. So, Self Radio. You've won. You're in charge now. Finally, it's all about you. Self Radio. Be your own montage.
It's all about me.
Self Radio. Your music, your way.
Your music is amazing.
But with our commercials. Self Radio. We monetize freedom of choice. So you don't have to. Self Radio. Your playlist. Your radio. Our ad revenue. Self Radio. This is the soundtrack to your life. So whether it's a training montage or a love scene.
Quiet, please.
You pick the songs. We just play the ads. Self Radio. You're a winner.
I'm better than the rest.
You're in control. Now take control of your music, just like a winner probably would if they had time. Self Radio. Own the montage. Live the montage. Be the montage. Self Radio. Isn't it time to let everyone know more about you?
I'm so awesome.
From the great minds that brought you social media, here is Social Radio, a society of one. Self Radio. Buckle up. We're about to get lonely, people. Self
Radio.
What a fantastic morning. Who am I kidding?
All right, let's keep it friendly out there this morning. All right, let's try not to burst into tears today before noon. What do you say?
Another glorious day in San Andreas, home of never-ending drought, self-anxiety, and doubt. Is your morning going well? Mine is going fantastic. I get to listen to your music all day. Oh, joy. It's going to be a great day to try to keep those demons at bay with some good music.
Morning there, sunshine. You know, you were really drunk last night. Did you mean what you said to that stripper?
Well, with this kind of morning, we know it can't get much better. Actually, nothing in your life is going to get any better. Ever.
Oh, good morning. Hey, your breath is atrocious.
Stay out of trouble this morning and prove your family wrong.
It is going to be a great night for fighting. I can feel it.
Let's pull an all-nighter with this music, shall we?
All right, whatever your plans are for tonight, use protection. And by that, I mean a high-caliber gun.
Coming up on Nighttime here, where the publicists and plutocrats slither by the pool bars and talk about movies that should never be made.
This is going to be an evening to remember, especially if you have an order of protection already.
Why don't we listen to these great tracks tonight, head down to the beach, and drown ourselves?
It is a great night to have one too many.
Good evening, San Andreas. We're going to let this music tuck you in tonight.
Nothing like a good tuck. Remember what the night is for. It's for dreams to be broken, promises to be broken, windshields to be broken at high speed.
Here's a great track, truly inspiring. I mean, you must really be a special person.
Turn this one up. Let everyone know this song really speaks to you. And it says you didn't pay for it.
Let's have another track while we ignore humanitarian crises around the world. Selfie!
Are you having fun? If not, pretend to. That's life, really. Pretending, then dying for real. Oh, here's a rare gem of a song. Oh, like a diamond in a turd. Man, now this is a song. This one reminds me of my prom.
I really like this one. Oh, who am I kidding? I never heard it before. Really? You picked this song? Well, to each their own.
Now, this is a fantastic track to floss to.
Let's all feel a little guilty about listening to this track, but do it anyway.
Time for a tall glass of this amazing record.
I think we should do this track. I mean, what other choice do we have?
Quiet those voices in your head for just a second with some hot liquor and these great tracks.
How's your feng shui doing? Better, I hope. Here's a track for you. We should keep this music going, or Cliff's gonna cry.
This one really says something about love and drug abuse.
Let's keep it classy with this track. Well, maybe not too classy.
I think you should enjoy this song while we check Andy's dress with the black light. Let's watch a cat video on the internet and listen to this next song. This one reminds me of my divorce and pending arson conviction.
Come on, cry it out. You know you love this song. Sit down, think about that one-night stand, and enjoy this next song.
This next song is like a molten hot pumpkin cappuccino poured right into your crotch.
The station is like a daily affirmation that your music is the best music ever. You really are an incredible person. Keep telling yourself that.
When you feel like giving up in life, listen to this song. It'll surely convince you that life isn't worth living.
How are you doing, Los Santos? You're late for therapy. Again.
I get paid to play other people's music. I'm like a second-rate wedding DJ.
Let's get spiritual for a second and listen to this drivel. I mean, it's a great track.
Let's all stare at our phones together now, like we're having a great time at the club.
Well, I haven't heard this in a while. Actually, I have. It's shit.
Here's a fun fact. Most facts are not very fun, but the fact that this song reminds you of your failed, miserable relationships, now that's fun.
It's songs like this that remind us how great a country we are to not be called Australia.
This next song has a fruity aroma and an aftertaste of cat pee.
Everyone in Los Santos has a fetish. Some like to punish themselves with this song.
I'm gonna go surf some pictures of female bodybuilders while you listen to this track.
Strap yourself in. We're going to listen to this next track and wonder what happened to our misspent youth.
I'm suffocating from all this great music. Let's hope you do too.
I want you to listen to this track and think what it means to people that can't understand the words. Let's dedicate this next track to Angela, who called in to Self Radio babbling something about a hostage negotiation. Hope it works out, Angela. Here's a track for you.
Let's all drink a tall, cool pint of ranch dressing and relax as we listen to this next tune.
Let's keep this party going.
All right, let's take things up a notch. Here's a track we know you love because you picked it.
One thing I know about this song is you like it more than some payola finance teen pop.
You know what this song means, people. Come on in, group hug time. Life is good, people. It's not lecherous if we're friends, you know. It's okay. Rock and roll. She lives. Let's prove it now.
Who says young people have no taste? Certainly not your friends. They think you're old.
Let's keep this party strictly above board and legal. But, you know, right on the edge.
Don't go anywhere. Anywhere at all. I haven't, and no amount of therapy is helping.
Let's keep this show on the road, people. Stay with me for as long as you want. You know, I've got a special room. That was a great song for pulling your family out of a burning minivan.
I hope you enjoyed that track. It's not getting much better than that. It's also not going to get much worse.
I remember where I was when I first heard that song. I was sitting here bored, hoping it would be over. Oh, the memories.
That's another track chosen by you and played by us. A very one-way relationship, if you ask me.
It's Self Radio, keeping everything firmly about you and your oh-so-great taste in music.
Music is so spiritual, isn't it? Great for making love.
Yeah, or sitting here in the toilet snorting up your stash.
Remember, everything pathetic that you've ever done is saved on the internet forever.
I got Misty listening to that song. You know, as I remember, Misty really never did have very good taste in music. That's really why I dumped her anyway.
That's a classic track for a person in serious denial about music.
The music never stops on Self Radio. Only for station IDs and commercials. Some annoying banter every once in a while.
Whoa, that was a pretty special track. So deep and edgy.
Music for a generation living in the cloud.
That song is perfect for listening to while cleaning up a crime scene.
Tracks like that are what you'll hear on Self Radio. Like a tapestry of torture. Boy, the notes of that track weave together and deafen the soul. I'll tell you, this toilet cleaner is some strong shit to smoke.
If that isn't music, I don't know what is. Great music. Kind of song they make those internet fail videos to.
That is the kind of song that smartphones were made for, helping to drown out the cacophony of shit that envelops us.
I hope that you enjoyed the bathroom break that song allowed us.
Hey, are you having fun out there? Because you know, Andy and I are having a great time here, playing doctor.
Ugh. I think that one is on the Chains of Intimacy soundtrack.
Where are we going in life if we can't have songs like that? Well, actually, where are you going in life if you listen to shit like that?
I'm not entirely sure I was ready for that song.
That one goes out to Lisa in Vespucci Beach, who still isn't returning my text messages. Doesn't that song make you want to drink a nice, strong espresso and watch women's gymnastics?
Self Radio is like a piece of gum that you chew for hours, and it gets blander and blander, and you realize it's all your fault.
Music that feels like a warm blanket soaked in gasoline, and you're smoking in bed.
How are we feeling out there? On edge, I hope.
Well, traffic's moving pretty slow today, but that's why we moved here, to sit alone in a rage amongst strangers.
This music is relentless.
Hopefully that song stopped you from being a dick on the internet. Well, at least for a minute.
From the land of never-ending awards shows, it's Self Radio. Hope you're having a fantastic time out there.
This music is your soundtrack to the daily question. Should I get more plastic surgery done?
I bet you were feeling nostalgic for that track.
Oh, that song makes me want to cry my eyes out. So emotionally stunted.
That's a great song for people who sit around and debate about snotty coffee endlessly.
All right, we're back. I don't know where we were, but we are back. I was really lost there for a second. That's weird.
I hope you're putting your hands up in the air like you just don't care, because I don't. That gave me a small glimmer of hope that this whole place won't end in a messy apocalypse.
All right, feel better now? I know that song moved blood to where it's meant to go. Well, that was just 3 minutes of pure nostalgia. Man, I love memories.
See, youth culture will never die. Not in my lifetime, at least.
Hey, pop it, prime it, and pass it, pickers. Jeez, some new tracks here. Your tracks, you picked them. Don't look at me. In fact, you can't look at me, because I'm on the radio.
For once in my pathetic, downward spiraling career, I don't have to pretend to even like the music I'm playing. Self Radio is about narcissism. I'm narcissistic, and so are you.
Yeah, so let's put our narcissism boots on and get selfie-obsessed. Hey, look, Andy, I'm taking moody pictures of myself right in front of a war memorial.
Yuck. The media world is funny, isn't it? Back when Cliff and I were popular DJs, everyone used to have a shared experience with a handful of TV and radio stations.
Yeah, but now we're all absorbed with our phones. You know, our profile online, our own playlists, my amazing and entirely natural abs. Well, you wanted it. You got it. Here's your playlist. Your ego has won. Mine won years ago. This is Self Radio. Oh, isn't music great? It speaks right to me like a teen romance novel with werewolves and maybe an older, wiser man, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah, but not in a creepy way. You know, Andy, I love Thailand. So spiritual. No taboos. Pad Thai this, you little tinker.
Wow, you really are having a midlife crisis. No wonder we're DJs randomly playing music we can't even choose. Self Radio.
Hey, you know, at one time you needed talent to make music, powering through huge quantities of drugs and women and sports cars, you know, if you wanted to make something truly epic. But now, all you need's a computer.
I don't know, Cliff. Computers are great. In your day, it was all about elites and analog nonsense. Previous generations really were useless, weren't they?
Mine certainly was. Enjoy the debt, kids. I've got a 401k, so suck it. Self Radio. Here we are in the land of unsweetened, 0 calories, 0 sodium, gluten-free, no MSG, fat-free, and yet something still missing. The ego, the self. Make your day about yourself. Self Radio.
It's Self Radio. Don't turn yourself off.
I've been wanting to turn you off for years.
Oh, don't worry. Mission accomplished.
Don't you have a quilt to work on, you old spinster? This is the new millennium. You know, same as the old, but more selfie. Self Radio.
I just love to look in the mirror and say, everything is about me. Self Radio.
Yeah, and then you realize you're all alone and everything is sticky. I certainly do. Self Radio. This is the station where every track should make you say, I love this song. Well, if not, you know, I'm just doomed to play your crappy tracks because you don't have any taste in music, but people are too scared to tell you. That's the joy of life. Relentless anxiety.
Self Radio? What is the self? German idealists have debated that for centuries. But who really gives a crap about Kant or Nietzsche or John Locke? Really?
No, actually, you know, he was British. And everyone knows the Brits all hate themselves anyway. It's mandatory. Self Radio is about loving yourself, your music, and hating everybody else. Now that's progress, people. This is a movement.
Andy and Cliff Lane here. Boy, this is really a career killer. We once broadcast to millions. Now, we just broadcast to you, playing your songs.
Yeah, and I'm supposed to smile the whole time while watching gravity win right across the table from me? I mean, are those things going to hit the floor one of these days? I feel like some kind of indentured servant here. This is musical slavery, really. Self Radio. Feeling lonely? Oh, do what old Cliff Lane does.
Cry?
Put on some of your favorite music. Drive to the top of Mount Chiliad and get very zen with a couple of college girls.
That sounds pretty superficial.
Well, I'm working on that with my therapist, Andy. Don't be a hater. Love yourself. Self Radio. Hey, Andy, check out my new tablet. You know, I waited in line for 8 hours for this, just like a young person.
Wow. You truly are an individual who thinks for himself.
Hey, don't hate me because I own better electronics than you. I'm finally getting hip again. We are playing some great music here, so put on your onesie and snuggle in here. Old Cliff is right here with you.
Oh, God, you're weird.
Hey, I'm a man who loves to cuddle. Don't be so frigid. You know, it's not sexual to hold people. It's little wonder everyone online hates you. Music is a gift. Something to be thankful for. You know, like internet porn and delivery food and websites that show you how fat all your old classmates have gotten.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about a great weekend. That's what I'm talking about.
Chosen by you, with us in between.
Yeah, it's like a set of twins on either side of you on the sofa, and they're feeding you grapes, and you're wearing a toga, and they say, Cliff, your abs are amazing. Please don't feed us to the lions.
There are abs under that beer belly?
Yes, they are abs. They're incredible. Hey, what are you doing?
Yoga. You should try it. Really releases some energy.
That's yoga? I thought it was different. Where's the tube they put in?
I don't know what you're talking about, Cliff.
Never mind. It's a long story. We have some incredible music.
Totally. I think you're going to love it.
And I love sending direct messages to our hot listeners. Oh, baby, hashtag me again.
Is there nothing better than watching a midlife crisis unraveling before your ears?
You are listening to Self Radio and me, Cliff.
And what about me? Hi, everyone. I'm Andy.
Oh, yeah, my sycophantic middle-aged menopausal sidekick here. Let's get the music going here and keep Andy's mind off the fact that, well, she's kind of an old maid now.
Screw you, Cliff.
Ooh, it's getting cold in here. Why don't you calm yourself down, make yourself useful while we listen to some more great music here on Self Radio. Hey there, this is Self Radio. Why not take a selfie and send it to old Cliff?
Is that what this wall of pictures is?
No, these are hot teen runaways. There's a difference. This is called caring about your community. I'm here to help people.
How are you doing out there? Are you enjoying this music?
I should hope they are. They're the ones who picked it.
Yeah, don't blame us if a crap song comes on. We're playing the tracks from your personal collection.
With musical taste like this, I'm starting to have big worries about the future of the gene pool. Self Radio, some great music for you to love. Music to let yourself go. Kind of like Andy's done here.
Hey, at least I'm not balding and wearing sweatpants.
Hey, a lot of chicks kind of like this look.
Right, but they're typically the ones on public assistance. Hey there, everyone. You're on Self Radio with Cliff and Andy.
Yep, and I'm just back from the bathroom after dropping a couple of hammers. Hello, Curry. Do your worst.
Oh my God, you are so foul and disgusting.
Well, it's nature versus nurture, my dear. And nurture won. So, why don't we play a little more music now? All right, we're back on Self Radio.
Hey, Cliff, what was all that moaning in the other room?
Oh, I'm just getting all hot and bothered looking at pictures of my new hot tub. Cliff is going to be slaying the ladies.
I give it about 1 week until the police have to fish a floater out of it.
Hey. These girls want to hang with Cliff, You got to go hard. Sometimes I guess the good do die young. Although I made it through, which just goes to show, not every cliche is true.
Who needs virtual reality and 3D movies when you got the joy of radio?
Yeah, and the joy of listening to your favorite songs, interrupted by commercials.
Hey, if you don't like capitalism, buddy, move to Russia or Australia.
People, this is the future of entertainment.
Old has-beens pushing content they know nothing about that people have mostly stolen so a search engine can get rich?
Exactly. It's progress. This is Self Radio.
I just can't tell you how after years in the wilderness, how good it is to be back on the radio.
And it is a hot goddamn infomercial.
This is real entertainment. It's real, and we're not washed up old has-beens. We're back.
Oh, this Self Radio thing? I'll tell you, when they pitched me on this idea, I thought, what a load of crap. Who wants to listen to their own music? Surely people want a powerful father figure to find their music for them. Especially one in the pockets of a record company who's only allowed to play like 6 songs in rotation. But then it was carefully explained to me that this was a job that would actually pay. And I realized Self Radio is really empowering. I am so happy to be on this journey with you. Listen, I know I got into trouble on my last gig because of those things I said about immigrants, but I just want to be really clear. I was misunderstood. I like the immigrants who work for below minimum wage. They belong here. It's the ones who expect benefits and rights that I don't like. Anyway, this isn't a political show. It's a music show, but please, let's not elect another whack job. I've said my piece. Rock and roll, baby. She lives. All right, all I'm going to say is modern morality is a sham. A sham! A sham! I mean, times were different back in the 70s and 80s. Now you're going to look at photos and say, good people, friends of mine, legends in the business, they were all perverts because they liked women. Times were different then. Women knew that. That's all I'm going to say right now.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of denial. They'll catch up with you sooner or later, Cliffy. This is Self Radio with Cliff and Andy.
Yep, on the station that is about choice, nostalgia, and weapons-grade internet piracy. I used to love piracy when it was just VHS tapes, but now it's screwed the music industry that I love. I say enough. Stop stealing, kids. Cliffy needs his pension. Let's keep the rock rolling here on Self Radio, the station that proves that music never dies and the spirit of the mixtape lives online.
I used to love getting mixtapes, then dating a guy and he'd get to know me and then he'd leave and I'd go back to therapy. Man, it's been a strange 20 years.
You need a montage, Andy. A montage.
I love you, Cliffy.
I know you do. Hello, Los Santos. Hello, Blaine County. Hello, strange satellite and server farm that this is broadcast from. This is a broadcast, well, from Cliff. Cliff Lane here, proving that even in the internet age, the 80s will never die. Not while I've got a breath in my body and fire in my loins. I love this country. Go freedom, go choice, go self.
You know, I was hawking domestic enema kits when Self Radio got in touch.
And I was trying to get on an infomercial selling Mollis.
So don't believe what they say. Never give up on your dreams.
And keep pushing towards the montage. This is America, people. This is America.
We're gonna be okay, Cliffy. We're gonna be okay. Don't touch that dial. This is Self Radio with Cliff Lane and me, Andy, playing nothing but the music you love, because you picked it.
Yep, plus we have insightful social commentary from a host of experts. Oh no, wait a second. They dropped that, didn't they? All right, how about inane chatter from a pair of washed-up has-beens?
That sounds right, Cliff.
You know, when I moved to Los Santos, people said, Cliff, you should move abroad, somewhere less judgmental. But I said, I am not done with Uncle Sam, even if he's done with me. And yes, those years in court were rough, but me, Cliff Lane, I was vindicated. I won. All the charges were dropped because of a lack of evidence. Now I'm right back where I belong in Vinewood, talking to impressionable tourists about famous people I know. All right, just so we're clear, I do know lots of famous people. Jack Howitzer, very misunderstood. The boys from Love Fist, including the dead one. And Jock Cranley, he was once a good friend of mine, whatever he may say now. Him and Cliffy used to party a whole lot together. Good times, people.
So maybe I'm getting old.
Maybe.
But I just don't understand this country anymore. I mean, America used to be about fun and wars we could win and freedom and stuff. And now it's all about the apocalypse and environmental disaster, and it's just so depressing. I want to go home to 1987.
Me too. I just want to say that Mollis really does work. Now, I'm saying that now as someone who's no longer a paid spokesman of the company. Just a happy consumer of their products.
Cliff, enough.
You know those stories about going blind? Greatly exaggerated. You just have a little double vision for a few hours. You know, like twins. What's not to love? All right. Just keep it locked right here on Self Radio. You know I do get paid by the listener, per listener, so you gotta stay, please. Really, I need it. Lawyers aren't cheap these days. Somehow it's okay for people to make up the most awful things about you and there to be a witch hunt and no evidence at all. And still, you gotta pay your legal fees. It's just not cool. I was innocent. I really didn't know.
And now a word from our sponsors.
All right, we got to pay some bills right now. Well, you know, that table service at the club ain't free.
Take a commercial break and think about buying some stuff for once.
Let's take a break.
We'll be back with more self-gratuitous music after this break.
All right, Andy and I need to have a little cry together, so let's have a commercial.
Hey, this is capitalism, not communism. Time for some commercials.
Fire one up and sit back. Time to relax and listen to some commercialism.
Well, it's that time again. Time for the 1% to talk to the 99% through a series of highly produced commercial messages meant to change your behavior for the worst.
Time for a quick break. If you change that dial, you know, you're just in denial. Stay with us. Why don't you go to the newsroom while I go to the booze room?
Let's go to the news and find out just how badly politicians are screwing us all over.
Want to hear how your tax dollars aren't working and then fume in disgust? Okay, let's go to the news.
Time for the news, people. I haven't heard some news in a while. That should be refreshing.
Oh, Weasel News. Go on.
You gotta fight for your right to party, but not with the cops. Let's listen to the news and think about that bit of wisdom.
I've been holding one in for a while. I say we go to the news now. Some college sensationalist propaganda. I call it delicious. You know, the news is coming up next.
Let's take a break from all this narcissistic music and listen to the news.
All right, I'm going to go relieve some loneliness in the bathroom. You're going to be listening to the news while I do that.
This next block of nonsense is sponsored by Weasel News.